This is the corner of Bergenline Avenue and 31st Street in Union City, high above Route 495, which takes traffic in and out of the Lincoln Tunnel. Early on Sunday morning, 11 police officers and 2 dispatchers worked together to prevent a tragedy as a 27-year-old man positioned himself above the roadway on a sign threatening to jump to his death.
Yeah, the incident took place roughly 5 a.m. on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So my officers, the body cam video is actually 8 minutes long, so that's how quick this incident started and developed and ended, basically. And the quick thinking of the officers that are with me today saved a life. From what we gathered, the young man was having some kind of relationship issues, and he was walking on the overpass. Somehow, some way, made his way to hanging off that overpass, and the officers could describe it better. And I'm going to guess he slipped, or he just lost the weight of his own body, dragged him down. And the quick thinking work of the sergeant that's here and the other sergeants that were on the scene, one of my officers went down below and actually broke the young man's fall.
So 2 of my officers happened to be approached by an individual who told them, hey, there's somebody that's climbing the fence over by 495. So they went over to go check that out. And they see the guy walking on the highway sign, back and forth, pacing, back and forth, and he seemed to be in distress.
So he was literally above the roadway on the sign. This is heading in the westbound direction on one of the overhead signs on that platform that's below the sign. He was walking back and forth on that.
Yes.
What was the first thing that the department and the officers then did?
Well, immediately Officer Soto and Officer Middlebrooks engaged him, tried talking to him, tried getting him to come back over. Unfortunately, he was in so much distress, he wasn't really responding to them. They immediately called it out to us, and I think every unit that was working at that time responded to the scene. I'm happy about that.
Port Authority Police, you mentioned they got involved. They shut down the traffic, obviously, on the roadway. Just how proud are you of this involved, I believe it was 2 police dispatchers and about 8 to 10 officers physically on the scene. How proud are you as a commanding officer leading these guys who are both rookies, from what I've been told, the 2 that are here? How proud are you of the work that they did in preventing what could have been a serious tragedy?
I'm extremely proud of them. The hard work, the teamwork. It just came natural that night. It wasn't. It's something that not everybody could do, but as a shift, we were all able to pull it together and get the job done.
I was directed by my sergeant to go down to the 495 and block off traffic. Once I got there, I saw that he was no longer walking; he was hanging off the sign. So just instincts kicked in, and I just put the vehicle under him, and then seconds later, he just fell on top of the roof.
So I'm assuming, based upon the fact that this was near Bergenline Avenue, you drove the vehicle down, I guess, the Kennedy Boulevard exit ramp. That was probably the closest one. It's not like your car was down to begin with. The car was up top. You had to drive into place. How long did that take you to do?
Approximately probably like 2 minutes. I tried to get down there as fast as I could. Especially, it was 5 in the morning, so there wasn't that much traffic. So luckily that helped a lot too.
And then when you got the car in place, all of a sudden it happened.
Seconds later, I just heard the loud noise, and I turned around and he was on top of the vehicle.
And from what everyone could tell, he didn't jump, he slipped. He lost his grip. He was hanging over. He was no longer walking on the platform. He was holding onto the side. It was misty out. His weight, all of that combined, and he just fell.
Yeah, seconds later.
And if the car hadn't been there,
serious injuries could have been really bad.
And from what I've been told, he landed face first, face down on the roof.
Face first onto the roof.
And then we had watched him fall, pretty hard on the roof, but thankfully no serious injuries were reported and everybody was able to go home safely.
He was even able to walk away from the incident into the ambulance under his own power, which is amazing when you consider he dropped at least 25 to 30 feet.
Yeah, no, definitely. And to think of what the alternative could have been, if Officer Guevara didn't act so quickly and we didn't have, the supervisory personnel on scene to be able to give us those proper commands and delegate resources. Absolutely, it could have ended much, much worse. But thankfully, as I said before, he was able to walk away from the incident and get the help he needed. No officers were injured, and no motorists were affected by the incident either.
Everyone involved worked as a unit, putting their training into action in a fast-paced scenario, which thankfully ended without the worst possible result. In the department, did they receive any type of specific training should they encounter an attempted suicide attempt? How does that work?
So we do receive training, general training for instance like this, not just that specifically, if it's in an apartment or wherever this person may be experiencing mental crisis. There is specialty units involved with this, and we do have 5 negotiators in this department. But again, the incident lasted 8 minutes. The officers did not have time to contact anybody from out of town or even my own people that could do this. So again, kudos to what they did and the instincts that took over and brought this to a good resolution.
This could have really turned into a tragic situation. Thankfully, this was a Sunday morning overnight as opposed to a rush hour. It was around 5 or so in the morning, so if it had been during the week, there would have been a lot more traffic. Not that there wasn't traffic, but there would have been a lot more. So this could have turned out a lot worse than the ultimate scenario.
Again, great point. So our dispatchers quickly called Port Authority. We got them to assist shutting down the tube. But again, 5 a.m., there's still traffic coming out of New York City. So this traffic was coming out of New York City into New Jersey. 5 a.m., still traffic. We were able to contact Port Authority. And again, that's a great point, because not only does the individual trying to hurt themselves, but other people, drivers, could cause an accident. But again, this was the best case scenario. Obviously, no injuries at all. Traffic was disrupted maybe for a little bit. My officers didn't get hurt. I think the only thing that got hurt was one of my police cars, but we could live with that.
Congratulations to the officers and civilian dispatchers involved in Sunday's event. A job well done. In Union City, reporting for Hudson TV, I'm Jeff Hennig.